Hello and welcome again to Company Interiors. My name's Nick Clark, and in today's video we're going to be looking at how Denise, our floral designer, is going to be making a seasonal autumn wreath out of some of our preserved plants. Now, you find me today busy in the packing bay area. You can see some of our preserved plants in all their glory. We've got eucalyptus, we've got hydrangeas, we've got preserved mosses for moss walls, so all sorts of amazing things. You can look at these in the link in the description below this video. You have also got an opportunity to get some free samples of our preserved moss, so click on the link below. If you like this sort of thing, always subscribe to our channel. Click the notification bell if you want to get some more alerts about the videos that we do. But let's go and have a look at Denise now, actually making one of these wreaths out of our preserved plants.
Hi, Denise here with Company Interiors. Today I want to show you how to make a pretty wreath for your door using our preserved oak and preserved green ivy. First thing you need to do is get yourself a wreath frame. I happen to be using a branch twig one here, but there's lots of different styles in the market you can work with. You also need some florist wire and florist tape for wrapping your foliage, clippers for your wire, and clippers for your foliage. That's pretty much all you need. It's a fairly straightforward project. You could also use a hot glue gun towards the end for some embellishments on your wreath. But I'll show you that a bit later. So let's get started with our foliage. I'm working with preserved oak. It's a very rustic looking leaf. It comes in nice big packages with long branches. It's a great sort of product to use for fall because it has that kind of country feel about it. And I also have a green ivy, which is much more sort of glossy, slightly different, interesting color and texture, green. I like the combination together because it gives you a bit more interest. But you can use any foliage that you have on hand. So you start by clipping off pieces from your branches. So I'm working with like small groupings of 2 and 3 pieces. You group them together into a little bundle. And you take a piece of your florist tape. I'm using green here so it kind of blends in. Excuse the fly. And you just take a little piece of your tape and you wrap the branches together to create little bundles. Now this could be any combination of foliage that you like, any color. If you want to go with more the red rustic tones or different types of greens. As I say, I'm using the glossy ivy with the oak here just to give some interest and contrast. Wrap those two together. So this is a little bit of, you need to get a production line going of your clippings and your tape pieces. Just it's a little time consuming, but it's kind of therapeutic. I have a whole big pile of them here that I've already created. So let's get started now attaching them to our frame. So all you need to do is you're going to start placing them on your frame, and you're going to take some floral wire and start securing it around. So start by unwinding a piece. Mine's already got 2 ends to it, so make sure I have the right one here. And you start attaching that around your frame. So make sure the first piece is secured nicely. Wrap it around itself a few times. The color blends in with your frame, so you're not going to see this wire. It's just the mechanics to keep these pieces in place. Then you're going to take your first little grouping of leaves, place them on your frame, all facing forward, and then take your wire and just start wrapping it around. Excuse me, I have an end to my wire here. I'm just going to clip off so I don't get distracted by that. My puppy has also come into the room, so you can probably hear her in the background. So I'm just going to wrap that around securely a couple of times to get the first one started. Just make sure you pull it tight. Then you're going to take your next bundle, place it so it's overlapping the first bundle, and then start wrapping again with your wire. So you can see how the leaves are going to cover up the mechanics as you go along. Take your next one, and you'll see how this is starting to build here. And wrap that around. Just a couple of times on each will hold it in place. As I say, I have a mix of the two types of greens, so you can see the contrast. It's quite a good interest there. You can always clip it off later if you have a few stray leaves that are kind of protruding in a way that you don't care for. The key right now is just to get them onto your frame. So I'm just going to continue this process going around. You can check back with me in a couple of minutes, and we'll see this first step of the process complete. There we go. So I like how that's looking. There's the green foliage base. So now you can embellish it with any other items that you have that you want to work with. I'm going to work with a few pine cones. So what you need to do is you take your pine cones and another piece of florist wire. Make sure it's a nice long piece, and just secure the wire around the base of the cone. Like, just feed it in amongst the leaves a little bit. Twist that around a second time so make sure it's secure. And then you have your two ends of your wire, and you just then, if they're long enough, you can just nestle your cones in amongst your leaves and wrap your wire around the base. Hi, welcome back. So here's our finished wreath. I've just embellished it with a pretty bow, just to give it a finishing touch. And I left the ends long. I just kind of like that casual look. I make sure the ends are finished off to little points or a V. That's very much personal preference, how you like it to look at the end here. Another option I just wanted to show you quickly was a half style decoration. So this one is a reed wreath. So the frame itself is beautiful just the way it is. It's all available from Company Interiors. And this one I've just embellished with red ivy and pink diosme. So it's a very different look, gives you a little pop of color. And because the wreath itself is so pretty, just the frame, I decided to just keep the leaves on one half of it so you can still see the frame there. So either way, whichever look you go for, can't go wrong. Make yourself a beautiful wreath for your door. Thanks very much. Speak to you soon.